While the company was spinning down the drain financially and they were dry of funds, a miraculous payment came from the co-owner of the Clippers, Dennis Wong, whose daughter was employed by Aspiration. The intermingling of these two entities, the Clippers, Aspiration, and Kawhi Leonard, is getting even stronger.
I never heard of the company Aspiration before, and I'd never heard a whiff of anything around an endorsement deal with Kawhi. When people talk about a smoking gun, that's obviously circumstantial. It means the gun is still smoking. It must have recently.
Kawhi Leonard has just been exposed in what's being called the biggest NBA scandal since the Tim Donaghy incident. Reports suggest that his uncle Dennis, often referred to as Uncle Dennis, may have pushed things too far with his greed, potentially putting Kawhi's entire reputation and career at risk. According to journalist Pablo Torre's investigation, the details behind the situation are shocking enough that some people are even calling for criminal charges to be filed.
The one in the middle of this, it's all about and over him, and I can guarantee you he couldn't give a about any of this that's happening. In the worst case scenario, if he is back on the free agent market, him and Uncle Dennis get to go to another team and ask to be environmentalists somewhere else. So like
maybe he could go to another city and he could teach them about climate change.
What's going on, NBA family? The Kawhi Leonard empire seems to be collapsing right before our eyes, and the evidence surfacing is absolutely devastating. Remember that $48 million no-show endorsement deal that was exposed earlier? Well, that turns out to be just the tip of the iceberg. New revelations are painting an even darker picture, one involving shell companies, secret payments, and alleged dirty money linked to Steve Ballmer. At the center of it all is Uncle Dennis, who's reportedly been operating like he's running the NBA's very own crime family.
The web that is tightening around Steve Ballmer, and the fact that this payment came in of just under $2 million when Kawhi Leonard was due just under $2 million. If I'm the other owners, and if I'm a fan of the NBA, I look at the totality of this evidence presented at this point and just say, what else do I need to see? If Adam Silver does not come down with a very strong punishment and statement against Steve Ballmer and the Clippers, what this does is it gives a blueprint for all the other teams if they want to circumvent the cap. Here's how you do it.
Charles Barkley is absolutely disgusted by what's unfolding. Brian Windhorst has started connecting the dots, and those connections could reportedly lead straight to federal prison. Meanwhile, Pablo Torre has just blown the lid off what might be the biggest fraud scandal in NBA history. Before we dive into all the shocking details, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you believe Kawhi Leonard deserves to be banned from the league.
Is that Aspiration granted Kawhi Leonard $20 million in stock in addition. This time, it was from Aspiration co-founder Joe Sandberg and Aspiration Growth Opportunities Partners, which is Sandberg's related venture capital fund. It's called AGO Partners.
Pablo Torre just dropped a bombshell that could completely destroy Kawhi Leonard's career. According to Torre, a struggling company called Aspiration, which was reportedly losing money at an alarming rate, somehow managed to come up with $48 million to pay Kawhi. But here's the shocking part. This massive payment wasn't for commercials, public appearances, or even a single Instagram post. The company allegedly handed over $28 million in cash and another $20 million in essentially worthless stock, all in exchange for absolutely nothing.
What the Clippers are accused of doing is everything that Adam has been trying to legislate against. A big market, deep-pocketed owner spending his way to success. And that's what this looks like.
But it gets even worse. That suspicious $48 million payment showed up right after Steve Ballmer invested $50 million into the same struggling company. You see what's happening here? Ballmer pours in $50 million, and then, almost immediately, $48 million of that money somehow ends up in Kawhi Leonard's pocket. The timing is so perfect, it's impossible not to notice the connection.
Someone as wealthy as Steve Ballmer, who essentially has infinity money, right? Like his wallet is about as bulletproof as it gets. If someone like him would see a company like this that knows this underhanded deal that he was reportedly doing to funnel money to Kawhi Leonard away from the NBA's collective bargaining agreement and salary cap, wouldn't he just continue to pay to keep that company afloat? Why would he stop doing that? Was that what this $10 million was? Was it, as they were, as this article says, hemorrhaging cash? would it make sense that Steve Ballmer would then inject another $10 million just to make sure that the deal with Kawhi doesn't come out?
Brian Windhorst went on ESPN and essentially called it what it looks like: money laundering. When you trace the money trail, the timing is far too precise to be a coincidence. The transactions line up almost perfectly, with massive payments being made just weeks apart, creating a pattern that raises serious questions about what was really going on behind the scenes.
These revelations that came out today had substantially less plausible deniability because of the amounts, because of the relationships involved. This one is going to be harder to explain.
Are you kidding me right now? This isn't just suspicious. It looks outright criminal. And here's the part no one wants to admit. Was this Uncle Dennis's plan from the very beginning? Did he look at the NBA salary cap and decide, we're getting our money one way or another? Now, remember the name Dennis Wong, because he might be the key to everything. This Aspiration co-owner reportedly sent $1.99 million to a mysterious shell company, and then, almost like magic, $1.75 million appeared in Kawhi Leonard's bank account shortly after. The timing? Absolutely perfect. The explanation? They don't have one.
Yesterday, that Wong's investment in the company, minority owner in the Clippers, invested in Aspiration about $2 million, and then it was immediately followed by Kawhi Leonard getting his payment. His payment was not on time. Suddenly, the minority owner for the Clippers invests in Aspiration, $2 million, and $1.75 million winds up in Kawhi Leonard's hand. Why was that? Why is he investing another $10 million into the company, particularly when it came as the Los Angeles-based company was hemorrhaging cash, laying off employees, and struggling to raise funds?
But here's the real bombshell that almost everyone seems to be missing. Dennis Wong's own daughter worked at Aspiration. She had access to the company's financial records and knew it was on the verge of collapse. So ask yourself this. Why would her father, knowing the company was bleeding money, approve millions of dollars in payments to an NBA player? The only explanation that makes sense is that this entire operation was orchestrated from the very beginning.
Over 5 minutes to go. The Raptors turned once more to their own superstar. Here's Kawhi for the lay. Good!
You know, when people talk about a smoking gun, that's obviously circumstantial. It means the gun is still smoking. It must have recently fired. I'd say in the case of the league, we and our investigators look at the totality of the evidence. So I think whether mere appearance, like just by the way those words read, I think as a matter of fundamental fairness, I would be reluctant to act if there was sort of a mere appearance of impropriety. I think that the goal of a full investigation is to find out if there really was impropriety.